Okay, so every day at our school, we start with a mantra. I'm raising a 3-year-old with my wife, my husband. I'm nervous. I'm raising a 3-year-old, and every day I believe in affirmations and how they really can transition your mind. So today we're going to start with a mantra. You're going to repeat after me if you feel comfortable. Raise your right hand. Each day of my life, I will try my best to be the best. I will be respectful to myself and others. I will be responsible with my time and my resources. And I will always be ready to learn. Today and always. I want you to channel your inner Tony the Tiger. I will be great. Please have a seat. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ebony. I am the principal, the proud principal of Templeton Elementary School in Prince George's County, Maryland. This is my first 9th year as the principal. I say my first 9th year because every single year is different. So here you can see my strengths. I'm a big believer in SAMs and strengths. I think that everyone has their formula, and I have finally found the formula for me. When I first started to be a principal, I always wanted to be like the other principals. Oh, she's so data-driven. This person is so this, and this person is so that. I had to realize that I had my unique formula for being a principal. And these are my top 5 strengths. I am very strategic. I have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan Z. I always find the connectedness in things. I'm always trying to figure out how things happen. I don't believe that anything happens by accident. I believe everybody that's in this room was supposed to be here. I'm a communicator. I have the ability to paint vivid pictures for people, and I have strong beliefs. My values drive everything I do, and I always start with the future. I can see the end in mind. I also lead with influencing. I like to make sure that other people's voices are heard. I like to make sure that everyone is a part, and I can also sometimes convince people to do things, which could be a good thing sometimes.
We went to our first SAMS conference in Tucson, and we attended some great sessions, and we said we should present. And then the next year, somebody went on maternity leave, so that didn't happen. And we came back again, and we're like, we really need to present. We have some great things going on in our school. So this year, we are actually here living a dream that we said 4 years ago. So we are very excited to be here. I believe in relationship building on harmony, positivity, communication, inclusion, and consistency. Which is really interesting. One of the things that we have in common, we use them very differently though, communication. And she talked about being futuristic. In one of our sessions together, she was coaching me, and futuristic is my number 7. But I'm like, no, I don't really, no, not me. And then as we're discovering, I really am. I'm always like, I wonder, what if? And that's exactly what futuristic was holding for me.
So these are a few pictures of us, the dynamic duo, and actually all those pictures are from SAM conferences. And then we're going to talk to you a little bit differently how we work together and how we look at our differences to make us the dream team. So the first one is that I'm a Tesoptimist. Has anyone ever heard of a Tesoptimist? It's a real word. So a Tesoptimist is a person who thinks they have so much time and they really do.
I'm going to stop Ebony right now because her Tesoptimist led her to think that she's going to talk over my slide. Because she thinks she can help first grade make posters. She thinks she can create the instructional council agenda. She thinks she can be in her training and starts in 10 minutes, all in the same 10 minutes.
I do. And she very structured. And Miss Harris, you can't do that. Miss Harris, you have to go to the training. You cannot make posters. Miss Harris, you cannot teach drones to the kids. Because I'm a Tesoptimist. I think I can get everywhere in 10 minutes. In the morning, at 5:30, but I really think I can cook dinner, I can meditate, I can do all these things and still get to work by 7:15. So she helps me because she's not a Tesoptimist. She feel like if you are on time, you're late.
Ebony sees the world that if it's not broken, break it.
Yes.
Because you always say polite women don't make history.
Yes, well-behaved women don't make history. So I believe that's right. She is a rule follower to the T. She is very, very structured. She's a rule follower. So can you tell how that can balance me out and make sure that I don't get to teach her down? If I'm in the room and she's the one that structures it.
Yeah, she encourages me to kind of venture out a little more. Conflict. Ebony does not like conflict. However, she embraces it because she knows that the process is going to help her grow.
And I think because of Teresa's positivity, she does address conflict, but she always addresses it like in a joking way, or she addresses it in a way where she'll let her voice be heard, but she'll be a little quiet about it. So I'm the person like, no, well, what's going on? Let's talk about that. So I'm the one that kind of like, we both really don't love conflict, but I know that it's necessary for growth. And then lastly, my to-do list is about this long, and I think I'm supposed to do everything on the list.
And I tell her, well, you know, collaborative planning is starting, and I know you want to do that, but we're going to go to collaborative planning because that's what's most important. So a principal has a ton of things to do. I help prioritize that list for her.
So we are definitely very different, but we work together very well. So this is a little bit about our school. We have 973 students at our school. What else about our school to be said makes us unique?
We are very unique. One of the things we always tell everyone is you can travel the world without a passport at our school. We represent 32 countries. We represent, and this changes daily. As you know, we have a school every day. I bet people today we probably get 980 students. Our students represent places all around the world, but we embrace it because we are very proud to say that we are one of the most diverse elementary schools in our district.
32 countries and 26 languages. So these students you see in their traditional knowledge of their countries, all the students you see in our slides are our students from all across the world. That's in our school. This is our staff. I have the honor of meeting about 110 staff members every day at the elementary school, so we're the size of like a middle or high school, honestly. And every person up there has a different set of talents. Every person up there needs differentiation. How many people believe in differentiation for adults just as well as students? So everyone here needs something different. Our motto this year is celebrating our collective individuality. In addition to the individuality of their personality, I try my best to hire people who look and come from countries of origin as our students. So when I was 24, I was getting my eyebrows done by a physician, I realized that in her country, Nepal, she had a degree in education. So where does she work at? She's right over there. She has my eyebrows in school, but she works in Livingston Elementary. So today our focus, I need everything in the song. So this is one of the song codes I say all the time. I'm moving by myself, but when we're together. So not only with her, but with these three ladies you see here. So today we're going to talk about how we marry the Gallup Strength Finders, SAMS, and the Q12 Engagement Survey to help our schools to become a better place to learn and to grow.
So one of the things I really value as a member of the staff at Templeton is the amount of time and energy Ebony would put in to getting feedback. I remember my first year saying, another four? And she's like, yes, we need to know what they think. So one of the things that we do consistently is there are team forms. At the end of the year, there's a collection of topics and they can tell her anything they would like. What works well, what doesn't work well for them. And we keep them here so we can always go back. We also, you ever had those moments like, that's a great idea, but it's like, hey, we're not doing it right now. It's great for next year. She started an idea box, and anyone can come in and put it in the box. And at the end of the summer, or at the beginning of the summer, we take them out and we create a chart to give all of their feedback. The other thing that I think is very valuable, which gave us some insight about where to go, were individual conferences. We schedule that she meets with every single staff member one-on-one because she believes people will say things
a copy of the chart. Ask questions about what did I do well for you this year? What could I have done differently? What are you most proud of? What is your placement for next year? If you could change anything about Templeton, what would you change? And I honestly use this information that I did box and the feedback from the teams, because I also believe that some people will say things in front of their teams that they won't say in front of me. So all three of those things are how I plan to for the next school year. So
Can you say again what's on that template and the questions you had?
absolutely. What did I do well for you this year? What could I have done differently? What would you change about our school? Ask questions about what they were proud of. I'm going to share everything with everyone at the end, and you can get all of my resources and everything as well. So here's the quote of quality time. Work is hard, distractions are plentiful, and time is short. The reason why I had this quote and I wanted to do this session is because I felt like I was working till 11, 12 o'clock at night every day as a principal. Anybody ever had that experience? And I was like working really hard. I was there. I'm like, why am I not getting things done? So what I decided to do was write down all the things I was doing every day, and I realized I just wasn't doing the right work. So that's when I heard about SAMS, and I begged for the SAMS process. Process, I was able to actually start to do better work. I was able to stop working at home as much. I was able to feel more accomplished. My sense of optimism was dwindled a little teeny bit. And then after that, once I found out from the staff how they felt, many of them talked about how they didn't feel appreciated or celebrated all the time. They wanted to have a voice when I made decisions or things of that nature. So all of that together is why I started to use the SAMS. It also starts to use different products or resources from what's the name of it? Sorry, Gallup.
All right, so this is an interesting large number. So we're going to watch a brief video about what we're talking about when we say our strengths. What do you need? And then we'll come back to this number.
There are some things that just come naturally to you, things that are second nature. These are your personal strengths, and they're a big part of what make you unique. They're what draw you towards certain interests, people, and situations. And they are behind your successes at work and in your personal life. Understanding your greatest talents is the first step toward a more productive, empowered life. When you get your Clifton StrengthsFinder results, you'll notice that some talents are dominant, while others play a supporting role. Your dominant talents are key to your personal development. By fostering them, you will pave the way for greater fulfillment and achievement. And by considering how you're already using these talents, you can discover how you can cultivate them to be your best every single day. Everyone is different, and we all have a special set of talents and strengths to bring to our work, communities, and relationships. Use your full 34 comprehensive report as a roadmap to discover, develop, and realize your true potential. Unlock your potential.
Resources on your table is actually a list of all 34. So it's kind of on the corner, so the person on the end takes it, you kind of pass them around. So this is all 34 strengths they have listed. What you do is you take this survey, this takes about 45 minutes, and they will give you a report based on your responses, and they give you your top 5 ranked from 1 to 34. An interesting stat is you would think, okay, the number of people out in the world and only 34 themes, there's got to be a lot of commonalities. And it's not true. To have the same exact order in the same exact way, it's 33.4 million to 1. So that's a really great way. Wow, the same in the same order, the top 5 in the same order. 33.4 million people. What they have found is that people who are using their strengths are 3 times happier with the quality of their life. They are also 6 times more likely to be engaged at work if you are using their strengths.
Yeah, 6 times as likely to be engaged at work. So, what I realized at our job or their personality did not mesh with me. I used to think, oh man, this person is asking me so many questions. Oh, they're just out to get me. Why are they asking me all these questions? Why is so confident, but she's not doing the right thing? I had to realize after learning about Gallup strengths that this is truly a part of a person's DNA. Who you are. Some people that kind of rub you the wrong way, it's not that they're trying to do this a lot of times. It's just actually who they are. Once I started to research and look at their strengths, I was able to work with some people that over the 9 years, we could not mesh together. But once I started to look at them and allow them to do the things that they do well every day, because that's when you get engaged employees. They can come to work and do what they do well every single day. So once I started to look at this report, I was able to realize instead of looking at a bottom-up approach, meaning, okay, this is something that so-and-so is doing right, I didn't keep talking to her about it. I had to look at it like, wait a minute, there are some things that this person does really, really well. Let me start looking at them as a glass half full versus a glass half empty. And when I say that it truly changed my trajectory as a wife, my husband took it, as a principal, it truly changed my life. I realized that we all are wired differently, but we all have our own cocktail for success. So right now, to just show you how unique and different we are, how we should move from our strengths, I want to do a quick activity. And I want to ask each one of you to pick up your pen and write the following sentence 3 times. I use my strengths every day. 3 times. I use my strengths every day. So, do you think you did a pretty good job writing that? But if you look at it, could you make it better? What are some things you can do better? Did anybody forget the periods? Formula letters a little bit better. Make it more clear. Now, if I told you to write again, could you make it better? What are some of the things you can do? Just give me 2 things you can do differently. Slow down. Punctuation. Okay. So I have a strength finder's code so someone can find out who they really are. I have a free code for some people. We have a lot of people giveaways. But what I want you to do, who thinks they can make this sentence perfect if I let them write it and win this code? Yes, make it much better than it is now. Much better than it is now on your paper. You can write it and make it much better. Let's see who's confident. I can make this sentence a lot better. All right, we're going to try. Whoever does it will get this prize. Are you ready? Who's making the decision about what's better? We will make the decision. Sorry. Okay? Okay. Yes. All right, so everybody's ready? Change hands. Change hands and write it over and make it better. Both of you think you can make it better. Switch your hands and make that sentence better than it was before. Switch the hand and make it much better. People are writing like this. Who's making it better? It goes much better with that hand, with the other hand. So how many people honestly would struggle with that? That is the same thing that teacher does when you are trying to get her to do something that's not one of her strengths, or your secretary, or your student. It will be easier for you to make it perfect by working with what? I'm left-handed. My left hand, I can make it better. I can keep sitting here for about 20 minutes and get it perfect. But if you told me to do that with my right hand, it would take me about longer. How many people agree with that? If you just work with your dominant hand, I can roll, I can do this. Actually, yeah, I can keep working at it, and I can make it better. But when you're trying to get people to do something that's really not their strength, you're making them frustrated, they're angry to come to school, they're destroying your confident culture. So we really have to be careful about asking people to do things that are really not their true strengths.
I think one of the moving parts when we were learning this process was we got our list and we went right to the bottom of the list. We were like, oh, I can make this better, and then we realized it's not about making number 34 better. It's about utilizing the top 5 and 10 to do your job more effectively. So the goal is never to make number 34 your number 1.
That's what technology does, and it's okay. It's not working. So, with strength line, this that you have before you is a list of things. When it's not connected to someone, this is just a list of 30, 14 things. Once you take the assessment, and several of you will get a code for free from us today, you will get a report that has your talent thing. Your talents are your natural recurring pattern of thought is what you do innately. When you came out of your mom's womb, this is just who you were. So that's a talent. It's just what you do. But when you can use it for near perfect performance, where someone can film you using it, that is when it becomes a strength. So on the paper, guys, it is just a thing. When you take the report, you have to really study it and learn about yourself. It is just a talent. But once you start using it for near perfect performance, it becomes a strength. Last year we had, we were going to have Dr. Seuss Day at our school. And we were having Dr. Seuss Day, and a group of teachers sent me this long email, all these pictures, about how we could not celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday because of his past. They were so adamant about it. They sent me all this research. And at the beginning, I'm like frustrated because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is here. It is time. We're getting ready to do this. It's Read Across America Week. What am I supposed to do? So what they did was they created a plan around cultural diversity and different books that we could do during this week. A lot of people on the team, our core team, were like, those are those millennials. The millennials are doing this again. They just want to go get some break. But once I got the report back, I realized at her core, she's empathetic. This is who she is as a person. This is not just her trying to do something different. I had to look at who she was as a person. Her positivity, her making sure, like she said, students had both mirrors and windows. So once I realized that, I'm like, she's really living who she is. So by me not paying attention to this report that she gave me and not allowing her to talk to me more about cultural diversity, I am killing her and I'm not allowing her to be who she is every day at school. So I had to sit down and listen to her. I had to listen to them. And as a result, we have a whole monthly cultural diversity program that these young ladies created. And if you look at their strengths, it's not because they're millennials, it's because of who they are. So once I looked at that and I looked at it like, oh my gosh, it's the day before Dr. Seuss's birthday and they're giving me this report. No, they really, I admire them for coming to me. And then I'm glad that I was able to look at their strengths in order to make this work better for our school. So this is just an example of how I helped her to make her strength, her talents into a strength versus not allowing her to do what she does every day. And you notice her report said that she actually, her report was specific. It said that she loves to find amazing books for students. They don't know she's an educator at Gallup. She loves to read to students. So the cultural diversity program was her actually just living who she is at her core.
So this is our instructional council team. It's made up from our reading specialists to our math IL team to the data coach and the chef's hat because I didn't make it to this event. But now you can understand, I'm an includer, so not being able to make it on this evening, my dad is in the hospital. Ebony went out of her way because she knew that it would bother me more to have to make that choice. I knew family is most important, but I was so disappointed. She still made sure I had my apron, they brought me my food. She actually had her friend, who's a chef, plan a whole evening for the team as part of thank you for the work you do. So these are the things, the way she goes out of her way to schedule time that we can be a team and she celebrates who we are individually. It's interesting she chose a cooking class because we have 2 members on our team who despise potlucks. They don't want anyone touching their food. And did you wash your hands? But she made sure that the chef knew that ahead of time, like I have these 2 friends, and just knowing us as individuals made the experience so much better. So that was an example for our team, but she actually does this for the entire staff. She will find a way to make you feel one of the things with our team this year that we're really excited about, just so you know, people emailed her an idea, she's going to try it, it took this optimist in her, but I was like, oh, let's do it. We actually all have our own Sam's calendars this year. So the instructional council, we all track our time, who we're supporting, what classrooms we're visiting, but this is a little glimpse into who we are as a team at our school.
And with this their top strength. Some people have responsibility as their top strength. It is like psychological when they say they want to do something. For example, I had one young lady on my team that's from the Philippines. She said there was a natural disaster where literally, in her words, the earth kind of cracked in Philippines. She promised her friend she was coming to a birthday party because responsibility is her number one. She walked around that crack to make sure in the earth so that she could get to this friend's birthday party. So when I give her something to do, I have to make sure that it's something I really want her to do because she is going to stay up all night. She's going to focus on it, so I have to make sure that I'm intentional in what I give her. Also with her strength, once you break a promise to her because of responsibility, she will never ever trust you again. So for me, because I'm a optimist and I make this a meeting, I have to be intentional with Ms. Lynch to make sure that I don't make a promise that I have to break with her. And we're going to show you, there are little videos that Gallup has created for each one of the strengths. And because this is the one that represents the majority of my team, I just wanted to...
I was not surprised to find that I have responsibility in my top 5. It affects everything I do. It's the voice in my head that says, you said you would do this, so let's get it done right, no matter what it takes. I do what has to be done. As a project manager for a large engineering and construction company, my responsibility theme is at play every day in every way. It motivates me to follow every project to completion. I take ownership of anything I commit to, and my clients and colleagues know that I will. I don't cut corners with my projects, and I make sure that everything I do is quality work. My team and I have an excellent reputation for being dependable and doing things right. Consequently, we are in high demand. Whenever a task or request comes up, I instinctively want to say yes, but I have to be selective. I have to make sure we can take it on, deliver on time, and do it right before I agree to a new project.
To me, deliberative means think first before you act. Before making major decisions, I need to research every alternative and review every possibility. For example, it takes me a year to plan our family vacations. I take great care to consider every option and every detail along the way, and I examine the pros and cons. I create, edit, and revise daily itineraries until they are perfect. Then I try to anticipate what might go wrong and make backup plans of things to do in case an unforeseen event affects our itinerary. There are times I think I drive my husband crazy, but in the end, it's always worth it, and he knows it. I'm 100% confident in the choices I have made, and our vacations are always incredible. I tend to think things over pretty carefully before taking action. As a result, I think I tend to make great decisions.
And you're like, okay, we're going to do this, okay? And this person is sitting right there. And you're like, what are you thinking? Tell me. What are you thinking? And they're just looking at you like, those are the limited people. They really need time to process before they make a decision. So, Ms. Mimish and Ms. Michelle and Lisa are my deliberative people. So if I have a big project, if I'm doing, if we're getting ready to have a program at the school or something is happening, I introduce it to them first, give them a couple of days, and they'll come back with all the pitfalls. Ms. Harris, did you know that on Monday we already have after school program on Monday? Did you know this is happening? So they are the people that are very intentional about helping me to avoid pitfalls because remember, I'm an activator, I'm strategic, I'm ready to go. And even with the video, for the sake of time, I'll show it. Michelle is one of the people on our team. We asked her to do the video. She did it at school. She was jumping all over it. Once we let her go home and do it and reflect on it, Michelle came back with an amazing video to talk about her strengths. Also, I meet with each one of these people individually every month. And we have an agenda, and we talk about their strengths, we talk about the people they're responsible for. And one of the things with Michelle on her daily schedule, she has focus time because deliberative people are those people that will be driving home. And when they're driving home, they'll end up going, riding past their house because they're thinking. So she needs that time during the day. So on her schedule, she has about 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes after lunch duty, for her to be able to talk and reflect with herself because she needs that intentional time. Someone else would think she's daydreaming, but I know that she's much better after that 20 minutes if I give her that opportunity.
And we have this chart for our team, but we also have it for every member of our staff. So if we're getting ready to go work with someone, we're like, let me go see what their top 5s are. If you have to have those challenging conversations, you're like, let me go see the best possible way to address this. We have, as the data coach, I'm also responsible for testing, and we have one member of the testing team who can drive people crazy. To be honest, she was driving me crazy every morning for 15 minutes until I went to the chart. She is maximizer. So if I ask her to do a task, she wants it done where she can get the most done in that hour. I don't want to do the one-on-one groups. She would rather give her 40 kids in one testing group because in her mind, I can accomplish so much more in 1 hour than if you tell me to test a kindergartner one-on-one. In her brain, she doesn't feel like she had a successful day. And once I understood that, I always give her the big group. She never complains. And we're both happy with the situation. What they do is, here's a list of 4 domains. When he said that I lead with relationship building, that's because most of my top 5, 3 of my top 5 are in relationship building. So you'll also find out some people are spread out across the different domains, and then sometimes they're clustered, like I'm clustered in there. An interesting thing in education is, which one do you think would be a high domain? A lot of educators must be executing or influencing or relationships or strategic. Which one do you think would be a really popular domain? For education. For educators. Relationship. What do you think might be the next one? Executing. Maybe third. What do you think comes the next? Influencing. So you're saying last, strategic? Guess which one is last? Influencing. Interesting, right? So who, significance, self-assurance, maximizers, competition, those things kind of fall, and it's very rare. Some of the very rare top themes are, significance, self-assurance are low. So you can see that you have those and they're high, they're rare to find amongst us.
So in the world, the rarest of these domains is influencing. Most people do not lead with influencing. It is very, very rare that someone will lead with influencing. And I lead with influencing, which is very, very rare.
Well, she's a little caveat to her whole.
I do. When I first took the strength finders report, I took it and I received a note of caution because it said that I answered so neutral. That everything, I was like, yeah, I agree, yeah, I disagree. So finally, when I finally took a report and I did an error report, I finally found who I truly was, and now I can say that I lead with influence. And before, I always received another caution.
So before we move on to the next part, we just want to take a moment to give you a thought time. If you want to stop and jot something down, maybe a word or phrase, something that where we are right now is talking about the themes that kind of jog your memory later.
And it's a strength finders area on the back of my handout. If you want to say, I may want to contact and get information about strength finders. I may want to take the test. Just thinking about, as far as we talked about strength finders, what would you like to do with some of this information? Yeah. So our district did it with us first, and then once we did it with us, I did it with the leadership team, and then I did it as a staff. The first year when I did this, I wasn't as well versed. I'm a coach now, and I've learned a lot more. So the first time it was kind of like, oh, this is who I am, and get the report, nobody did anything with it. This year has been the year when I had someone, an expert from Gallup, to come in, and I started to do one-on-one coaching with them and one-on-one coaching with my first and second year teachers. Because we'll talk a little bit more about engagement and how I had to start doing this if I wanted to retain teachers and I want people to feel good about doing what they do best. If I don't spend time with you, I won't know. So at the beginning, it was just like a fun activity, and now we're really getting into the meat and potatoes. So I think it was like, first it was me buy-in, then the team, then we all did it, and then we backwards mapped and really started to get buy-in with that rebound with it. Okay, so here we're going to talk about the engagement part of Gallup. 33% of the U.S. workforce says that they are engaged at work. And the number is even lower when you talk about globally. Only about 15% of people are engaged in their job. So when we talk about engagement, what does engagement mean? What is the difference from being satisfied at work and engaged? How many people know people who can bring dogs to work, or they have a slide or a fuzzy room, or they have free coffee at work, all those fun things? Where do you think that falls, engagement or satisfied? Satisfied. Satisfied doesn't always mean that you're happy because you get to work from home 3 days a week in your pajamas. It doesn't mean that because at your office you can bring your puppy to work. It may make you happy, but does it truly mean that you're engaged? Engaged employees are what you want, because engaged employees, this means that my basic needs are met at work, so I'm more productive. That means I work with a passion, I perform consistently higher, and I drive innovation and move the organizational forward. So when your needs are met, you're more engaged at work. When you're satisfied and happy and you give someone a comp day, that doesn't mean that they're engaged. Hey, I'm just happy because you gave me a half day off, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stay after and help with the glee club because I'm really not engaged.
So we look at the type of engaged or not engaged employees. They go from engaged to not engaged, and those that are actively disengaged. And I'm sure just thinking about that, you can think of somebody who you can put in a category on your staff. Your active and engaged employees are going to be the highly involved ones. They're going to be the ones that are enthusiastic. They bring ideas to you. Then you have the not engaged people that show up at 7:15 and leave at 2:45. They're going to do their job, but they're not going to put in the extra energy or passion to their work. And then you have the actively disengaged, which are the intentional naysayers. They are going around destroying what you are actually working for. A real simple example to remember: an engaged employee walks down the hall, sees a piece of trash on the floor, they're going to pick it up and put it in the trash can. The not engaged employee will just kind of keep walking by it. But then when you look at the actively disengaged, that's the person who actually threw it on the floor.
So that is an example that I remember, that we remember to remind us of engaged, not engaged, and disengaged.
And something that was really powerful over the summer when we had our leadership meeting, we took this. I realized last year I was falling in the not engaged. I was coming to work, I was doing my job, it was effective, we were moving, but I was like, you know what, I'm lacking? I'm not as excited and enthusiastic. I haven't come to you with any really fun new ideas. And I said, that's going to be my goal this year. I'm going to find my passion. What am I going to do differently this year? So I don't want to just be engaged. I want to be engaged. I do this a lot of my day. I want to come here and be super excited to be here. But through the coaching or one-on-one conversation, I realized like I would walk by the trash and it's on the floor.
Yes. Where do you think most of your staff is? Research shows where most people are not engaged. So that means they could go where? They could go either way. They could either go to, that's your really, really like, that's the emergency group. That's like the 911 group, because they can go either to actively engage or actively disengage. So here's how we came with this Q12 engagement survey. This is something that Gallup gives us. So this is a survey. They've surveyed millions of people and decided these are the questions or statements that people have to say, agree or strongly disagree, in order to determine if these people are engaged or not engaged at work. This is what they use to determine that. So the first one is, I know what is expected of me at work. And it's on the sheet that you have on your table. I have the materials and equipment I need to do my work. At work, I have the opportunity to do what I do best every single day. In the last 7 days, I have received recognition or praise for doing good work. My supervisor or someone at work seems to care about me. There is someone at work who encourages my development. At work, my opinion seems to count. The mission or purpose of my company makes me feel my job is important. My associates or fellow employees are committed to doing quality work. I have a work BFF. In the last 6 months, someone at work has talked to me about my progress, and this last year, I had the opportunity at work to learn and grow. So what we did, this is how we married it together. I talked about how we did the coaching and things, but I married this by looking at how I was using my time with the SAM descriptors and aligning these statements with that so that I could be able to say, hey, I am boosting engagement. We are a Q12 engagement school, so right now we're in the process of taking the assessment, but because I do a lot of one-on-ones with the teachers, I was able to realize where I needed to start. And for me this year, it was in the last 7 days, I have received recognition or praise for doing good work at school. So the way that I did that was connected to which ones do you think? Celebration and what else? Feedback, directed feedback. I also had to plan time. She puts planning time on my schedule to decide who I'm going to celebrate. So office work prep, I use some of that time. And here's some examples. Here's an example of how I use it. So here is a chart that I use. It's called the Templeton token system. So they get these little tokens, and these are the things that they can purchase with the tokens. Complete a lesson plan for the week, somebody, either me or someone from the team. I can update their progress monitoring tool. I can...
So they get the tokens for doing these things. So like,
I'm sorry, yes, I'm sorry.
You feeling you did your updating your monitoring tool would be like, thank you, here's 15 Templeton tokens.
So this is how you get the tokens, and this is how much the things cost. I'm sorry, I got a little confused. So you can leave early with the students. You can get something out of the treasure chest in my office. Full day leave raffle. We do that once per month because people were hoarding their tokens so that they could get a day off. So we had to change that. Get a set of papers graded, things of that nature, and they get little tokens, and they say thank you in the different languages, and we just pass them out, and then they're able to get some things.
You'll notice one thing that we had to decide as a team is how invested the instructional council was in supporting this goal. Because Ms. Harris can't do all of those things that she's saying to people. But she can say, no, you're assigned to 5th grade, and this teacher, I'll go cover their class for 30 minutes, they can do that, or I'll help them do that. Because we realize that's really what we're there for, is to make them engage, feel part of the team. So there are times where she'll say, I need you to do this so this can happen. So you can see why you need not just yourself, not just an assistant principal, but whoever your core team is, you can't do it by yourself.
And I also sent out one called these are a few of my favorite things, and they tell me their favorite color, their favorite flower, what kind of candy they like. So I'll just look on the list, I'll go to Staples online, order Twix, and then I see you're having a bad day, and I'm just like, hey, have a good day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the Twix. It's my favorite. How did you know? But it's because earlier in the year, they filled out the favorite things form, and I can send that to people as well. Also, one about my supervisor or someone at work cares about me. If you see in the corner, that is a letter that I write to each person on Valentine's Day. So I sit down and I write 5 things about every person on the staff, whether we are BFFs or not. And it's all different. And so you know why I need office work prep time to be able to get that. After Valentine's Day, people come back so energized because they're like, I know specifically why my principal values and appreciates me. So it could be that you're a Ravens fan, that you took care of your mom when she was sick, or that you taught that lesson and you differentiated for your ESOL students. So it's very, very specific. And each one of these links, we have some things about what I do at Templeton Elementary School to support these and how I align it to the same description. So in closing, leadership is all about people. It's not about the organization. It's not about plans. It's not about strategies. It's all about people, motivating people to get the job done. You have to be people-centered. I always reflect about how many different assessments we've had in our district. How many people have had tons of different assessments? How many people have had tons of different incentives and initiatives in their district since you've been around? But I will tell you, if you reflect, a negative Nancy, her name may have been Ms. Jenkins, her name may have been Ms. Smith, but you will always, no matter if it's the MCAP, MSA, you're always going to have that person in your building. You're always going to have a responsible person, even when initiatives change. Everything changes. I promise you, you will always have people that fit into different categories, the ones that make you happy, the ones that make you frustrated. So why not invest in those people so that your work is easier? And I assure you, if you partner with Gallup, I have put the contact information for Janet Gibbon on the back. She is ready to help you to get codes for your for your teachers. They actually have them for students too, for your 6th graders. I think 5th and 6th that's where they start. She's ready to help you. Invest in the people and it makes your job a whole lot easier. No one wants to analyze data if they don't think that you care about them. So just like kids learn from people they think care about them, the same thing with adults. So I challenge you to do the same thing that I am challenging myself to do, is to invest in people just as much as I invest in academics at Templeton Elementary School. Thank you very much. And we would like to give out a few prizes to people.